Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to cover an economic subject. The name or the title of the subject is How to Prevent Exports Decline. Look, China has been exporting more than $6 trillion worth of goods. In the first trimester or first sem or first quarter, Chinese economy grew by 30%, Indian economy grew by 10%. India exports less than 2 trillion. China exports more than 6 trillions. Why is that difference? It's not the population. Population-wise, both the nations are neck to neck. Geography-wise, both nations are neck to neck. Agri and horti, raw material-wise, both the nations are neck to neck. Technology-wise, both the nations are neck to neck. Logistics and logistical-wise, both the nations are neck to neck. Then why there is a big yawning discrepancy, big difference between us and them as far as the export is concerned? Nation must be exporting country to be rich. Exporting countries can only be rich. Importing countries just cannot be rich at all. Because when you export, you are actually gaining the forex. You are gaining forex means a foreign exchange. You are gaining money like a person, like a businessman. But when you are importing, then you are paying your export to other countries like a buyer. Buyer's pocket is empty, seller's pocket is full. Exporters nations are replete with forex. Importing nations are deplete with forex. Import, then you are rich. You are actually gaining. Exporting means gaining, importing means losing. One means when you export, you are actually becoming richer day by day. That is how America is rich, Europe is rich, Canada, China. And we are also getting rich. Since 1995, we became the member of World Trade Organization. So if you want to deplete your nation with prosperity, export. If you want to deplete your nation with prosperity, then import. But there are certain standards, certain recipes there, how we can become an exporting nation from importing nations. And I have given 5 points to elaborate. These are 5 points, are not all the points. These are some of the points that I'm going to elaborate for you guys to understand how we can have exporting nations with depleting treasures, with depleting treasure trove, with depleting TT, with depleting forex. Point number 1 is PDAC. Lower priceability, higher durability, higher utility, and higher quality. Your product must have PDAC. Price of your product should be the lowest in the world. That the consumers from all over the world are going to make a beeline to buy your product. That kind of priceability. Durability. Once they buy and use your product, they find out satisfactorily that the product has very high durability, very high utility, very high quality. Customer always buys the product by surprise. When the customer actually, first time customer is buying something, then his consideration or her consideration would be price. If the price is low, the customer is definitely going to buy one piece. And after using it, customer is satisfied, totally guntled about the utility, quality, durability, then customer is going to become loyal to that product. Customer is going to ask that product by name. They are not going to be satisfied with any alternative products. So, priceability low. Durability, quality, utility must be high. Then and then the foreign consumers are going to buy your product because foreign consumers are very, very quality conscious, durability conscious, utility conscious, and the price stability conscious. They are very PDUC conscious. Point number 2, TTQM, total quality management. In 1945, Edward Deming has given this concept to Japan and the European nations that unless and until you are going to resort your product to quality and you are going to indulge in quality, you are not going to create the demand for your product. Yes, it takes a little longer for quality product to run, but once it runs, people are going to go bonker to buy your product for its quality. Japan and the European consumer as well as manufacturers listened to Dr. Deming and they went to quality. That is why we have been crazy to buy Japanese product, European product and American product because it has quality. It has long-lasting, satisfying, guaranteed qualities, and that quality gives us absolute gratifications about the goods. Point number 3, green and ethical product. Don't try to cheat the customer. If you try to cheat the customer, you are cheating yourself. That is why Warren Buffett said, give more to get more. If you give more to the customer, the one satisfied customer is going to bring you 99 more customers. So, green product, perfect product, with PDUC, lower price stability, higher durability, higher utility, higher quality. That kind of product with ethical approach. You don't have any reason or you don't have any intention, you don't have any kind of volition, you don't have any kind of willingness to cheat customer by giving less. If you say that my product, you say for example, if you are selling some kind of furniture, you say that my product is 8 by 8. But now when you are making it, you're going to say, make it 7 by 11, 7 by 11. The customer is not going to check the size. No. All the customers are not going to check because customers have a tendency to trust you. Human has a tendency to trust you. If you trust someone, that is humanly quality. Satanic quality is that you don't trust anyone. But America has an adage, a proverb. Americans say, I trust everyone unless and until they give me the reason not to. We trust everyone unless and until they give us reason not to trust. That is also humanly quality. So, don't try to cheat the customer because customer knows. At least educated Western customers know what Adam Smith has said, that businessman always attempts to cheat you. And this is everywhere in the world. More so in Asia, Africa and Latin America. In India, if they don't cheat you, they are not a businessman. In Europe, America, if they cheat you, then they are not businessmen. Over here, if they don't cheat you, then they are not businessmen. Point number 4, lower value of rupees. Some nitwit argue that why our rupee is not equal to dollar. Stupid, you don't know what you are talking about. First you read, then talk. Dog also talks. We don't understand. Animals also talk. Only we don't understand. So this kind of talking is animalistic talking. Talking without having any kind of base. Talking without having any kind of background. Talking without having any kind of knowledge. Lower the currency. Indian currency is $75 rupees per dollar. But Japanese currency is 108 yen per dollar. So exporting countries always keep their money lower, so more export will be demand. More export will be in demand only because your currency is low. Say, for example, if our rupee is equal to $1, we export shirts, Mafatlal silk cotton shirts, would be about 200 rupees. Who is going to give you $200 for the shirt in America? where in America average shirt costs only $5 to $6. So you have to compete with the American market, with other exporters, other manufacturers, and other competitors. So other competitors are selling shirts for $8, and you are charging $200. You have to starve to death for your stupidity. And only stupid people starve to death. Those people were smart, genuinely smart, not wearing jeans and a t-shirt smart. Genuinely smart, like Gandhiji, Pandit Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, these kind of smart people never starve to death because they have one thing, that is knowledge. And those idiotic copycats, copying the West, wearing jeans and a t-shirt, they don't have one thing, and that is knowledge. Point number 4. Point number 5 is EEZ. Full form is Exclusive Economic Zone. It is like economic nuggets, economic says, like same thing. Special economic zone, special economic nugget. This is exclusive economic zone. In a special economic zone or exclusive economic zone, what happens is that whatever the companies manufacture, they manufacture every single thing at the lowest possible cost to compete in the global market, and every single thing is produced is global market. Not for the local or local market, but for the global market. Government throws lots of benefits, lots of doles, lots of dole-ups, lots of subsidies, lots of packages, stimulus package, rescue package, every single thing government gives them. And they tell them that you manufacture so much that you can saturate the global market. So what is the benefit? Benefit to the nation are two giant benefits. One, export. Huge export can earn huge amount of forex for the nation, foreign exchange for the nation. And the second, huge production requires, needs badly, desperately, huge amount of workers. So sales can actually generate huge amount of forex and huge amount of jobs. Government doesn't have to worry about that. Government can sit pretty and set its food on the table and smoke Cuban cigar. Because sales are working. Exclusive economic zone is are working. Nuggets are working. What job they are doing? Earning lots of forex and creating lots of jobs for the starters, for the repeaters, for everyone. And that is why government has been supporting every which way, financially, economically, politically, every which way, license-wise, giving them permission, giving them land, giving them loans, giving them machines, backing and banking, both. Backing and banking, both. Because ease, shares, nuggets, they are the most viable, most vital, most pivotal things for the national economy, and that is why America is what America is. China is what China is. Europe is what Europe is. And India is actually in the line. Second to Japan. Japan is second to China. China is second to America. And within 10 years, by 2030, MIT professor, Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor has said, in her book, Running Empty, title of the book is Running Empty, she has said that India is going to surpass China, means number 2 by 2030. Amen. If listeners believe in God and the listeners believe in their nation, or they have a little loyalty, that they are going to say Amen. So this is what it is. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening. See you again next time. Until then, God bless everybody.